Hey everybody, this is Stephen Barlow here, and what I'm going to talk to you today is about seeds and seed starting. So it's kind of the end of the winter, coming to the early spring, and we're thinking about seeding stuff inside. It's a great thing to do, it's a ton of fun, and it's you getting your hands dirty when you can't get outside. Starting seeds can be a little tricky, but if you take a few of my tips that I'm going to talk about in this video, you'll have great success. The first thing you want to do is figure out what you're going to seed. So a lot of people like to start some of their annuals inside, and a lot of people like to start some of their vegetables inside. There's a whole mix of different things you can start inside. Certain plants though you can't start as seeds because they're just not grown that way, they're not started that way, like different types of cannas and some of those tuber plants. Those things cannot be started as seeds. But let's just talk about starting some vegetable seeds first. We have this great thing which you can find on our website. What it is it's a guide to seed starting, and it's a guide to when you want to start some of your vegetable seeds. So we are at that time, if you look at our guide here, the end of February, the end of the winter, where we're gonna want to start things inside. So what are some of the things that you want to start inside? You're gonna probably want to start your peppers. They take a long time to grow. Once the seed germinates, they're just a slower plant. Your tomatoes, you would want to start a little bit later than that because they grow a little bit faster. Your eggplants kind of around the same time you start your peppers. You also have some of your root vegetable crops that you actually don't want to start them inside. You have like things like carrots or radishes. Now those are plants that you're going to want to direct seed, and we'll do a video of those once it's more time to do that, sometime the end of March, beginning of April. Those do not get direct seeded. So I encourage you to take a look at our guide and I'll tell you which ones to seed. So now if you have some seed, let's say you have seeds left over from last year, you have some veggie seeds and things like that, you have to understand that seeds have a lifespan inside their packet here. They have an expiration date. So for instance, you have like your peppers, that if you don't have a new packet of pepper seeds, all those seeds are not going to germinate. So usually if maybe 90% will germinate this year in the packet, the following year probably only 60%, and the following after that probably only 40%. So you still can seed them, you're just gonna have to seed a little bit more, and I'm gonna go into that in a second. We sell a variety of seeds from Botanical Interest. They're organic seeds. They're a great line of seeds. You can come and check them out here. But this is just a pepper seed right here that, like I said, if you have old ones, you want to make sure you're going to seed a little more, understand that they don't germinate. It might not be you, it might be just that the seed is expired. So what we have is we have some of our tools here to start seeding with. We have different kinds of pots and trays and things like that. The number one thing that I think when you start seeds is to have a good soil mix. So I have a seed starting mix here. It has a lot of what we call porosity in it, meaning that it's not like a dirt in your garden. There's a lot of areas for air to be in there. So you have perlite, that's the white stuff, that allows the soil from getting nice and compact, but it's nice and light and fluffy. This allows to, once that root starts to come out of the seed, it allows it some room to go. It doesn't have to struggle like it would in some hard dirt. So that's the first thing. The second thing that's really important is make sure you have the right kind of container. Now, we have these large containers here, which they're nice, but this is a lot of soil volume for a tiny seed. So this would hold a ton of moisture and it might drown the seed. You don't want to use such large containers. You want to kind of start out with what we call a smaller starter container, like these right here. These are a quart pot. They have, they're really cool. They're filled with soil, but they can let air go through the core here, and it will drain really well when it's watered. You can also use your traditional plastic tray. These are great. They're nice smaller cells, and you can easily take them out and transplant them into a larger pot after you're done seeding them. But something like this is a great starter tool for you guys to use. And you can reuse them every year. You just want to make sure they're cleaned out and everything. But if you want to use them this year, and then clean them out and use them again next year. So when we start seeding, we're going to have our good soil mix. We're going to have a good tray to start them in. So now when you're going to seed your seeds, I'm just going to open up this packet of beefsteak tomatoes here. Now all seeds are of different sizes and things. So some, like tomato seeds, are kind of on the smaller side. What I like to do is I would water this in first. I would get a watering can, I would moisten the soil. So once I put the seeds on, if I were to water it later, then the seed would float away. So I would have that soil nice and moistened. And then in each cell, you can see these seeds here. They're quite small, all right? So what you can do is you can use a pair of tweezers, but don't grip them too hard. And you would place, I would do 2 to 3 in each cell, all right? And then depending on the seed, you would want to cover that or leave it uncovered. Generally on the back of a seed packet, it has great instructions on how deep to plant the seed and if you should cover it or not. So for instance, this tomato says it should be planted 1/4 of an inch deep. So I'm gonna put the seed in there and I'm gonna put a little bit of soil over top of it. I'm not gonna push down on the seed because then I'm gonna compress the soil. So I'm gonna put 2 or 3 seeds in there and then put a little bit of dirt on top. And then I'm gonna water that in. Now I'm not gonna water these every single day. I don't wanna drown the seed because what happens is if I drown the seed and there's too much moisture in there, that seed will never grow and it'll rot. So you wanna give it even moisture through the bottom of the container. And then that should be enough moisture till the seed starts to germinate. Now once that seed starts to germinate, you're hoping if you put 3 seeds in there, we have 3 that germinated, but that's gonna be too many for this cell, so we need to do something to thin them out. So once you have about 1 to 2 leaves on there, you're gonna take the other 2 out, so you only have 1 in there. And you can plant them somewhere else, or you can discard them. And then eventually that plant will grow and you'll transplant that into a larger size pot. So there's other things you can seed. I just talked about tomatoes. Delphinium's a great thing to start right now. They're fun, easy to germinate, super easy to germinate. Also, a big thing you want to start now that germinate really quickly is your cool season vegetables. So this is lettuce here. You really want to get these in the ground right now, the end of the winter. In your seed packet, in your seed starter kits. They will germinate quite quickly, and you'll transplant them and you get them outside because we're going to start planting cool season vegetables outside in about 2 to 3 weeks. So you have your lettuce, your broccoli, your Brussels sprouts, those cool season vegetables. You want to start seeding them now. So those are just some tips on starting seeds inside. I encourage you to get into it. It's a lot of fun. It's very, very rewarding to start something from a seed, germinate it, divide it, plant it in a bigger container, and then enjoy the fruits of your labor in the garden throughout the rest of the year. So thanks so much for watching this video. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments below, or you can always email us at hello@barlowflowerfarm. Thanks, have a great day.